Hey, have you tried creating your first agent in Copilot yet? It even works in Basic and it's really cool, really helpful, and I recommend that you give it a try. I'm going to show you how to do it and it's really quick. What's an agent and why would you use one? Well, if you think about a prompt, it's similar to giving somebody a task to do. Creating an agent is like giving it to somebody who already knows how to do the job. So for things that are more complex tasks or repeatable tasks that you want Copilot to do, things that you might want to share with your colleagues, things that are a bit more complex and need a few steps in terms of the instructions are all good use cases for creating an agent. I'll give you an example here. One that we have is called the Training Comms Reviewer. And if we're creating some comms for any of our training programs for participants, then we can just run them through this agent and it will give us feedback from various different personas like the cautious learner, the busy learner, the skeptical learner, to just give us that perspective on whether the comms are going to land. So on the left hand side here, we've got all of the instructions that sit behind the actual agent. And then on the right hand side, we've got the preview of what you would actually see when you're using the agent. Now you might be thinking that's a lot of stuff to understand how to put into an agent, but I'm going to show you how you can do it in super quick time and still get some great results. So we need to create a new agent. Let's start there. And we could try and build in all the instructions ourselves, which is quite fun to do. That's the way that I do it personally most of the time. But if you're not that confident, you can use the describe, which is more of a natural language way of talking to the agent to get it to create what you want it to create. And we're going to imagine that we want to create a FAQ agent to share with colleagues who have questions about our AI policy. So you're going to want to add some content here. You'll have some files, policy documents, that you want to share, and it's important that we put these into the agent because we're telling the agent this is the data that we want you to draw your answers from. So put the information in there that you think is needed. You can add in files, you can add in channels and chats from Teams. You've got your SharePoint sites here as well. But let's just imagine that I've done that. I'm going to hit go, and what Copilot is now doing is it's configuring the actual agent. Now, just while it does that, what I would always recommend is once you've got your first draft is to test it, iterate before you start sharing it with other people, because it will look great and really cool, but it's important that you test it. Of course, what you can do is you can test it using Copilot. So you can put your output of your first test that you've put into like a question that you've asked it, put the output into Copilot and get Copilot to give you feedback on how well it did, and it will give you some improvements to add to the instructions as well. And because it's done the instructions for you, if we click on configure here, all that background work has been done by Copilot. You can even add in some suggested prompts as well, or you could ask Copilot to do that for you. Importantly here, look, the toggle is switched to search all websites off. So for this particular agent, like I said, you don't really want it going out looking at the World Wide Web to get answers about your own company AI policy. So you want that off, and that's why you're feeding it with the documents. I did mention that I like to configure mine myself. How do I do that? Well, I have a really good conversation with Copilot to say, this is what I'm trying to achieve. This is the broader context. This is why it's important. The more context you can give Copilot, the better. And then together we start to build out those instructions. We build out the agent, we test it. Like I said, I put the outputs back into that conversation so we can improve as we go. Once you're done, you hit create and it exists, and then you can share any of your Copilot agents with your colleagues. Good luck, enjoy, and subscribe if you want more stuff like this.